Hey, welcome again to the second, podcast of the new year, 2023. This is Domain Dave from CheapWineFinder.com, the podcast, and we're keeping it cheap. November and December, we kind of went upscale. We had more wines closer to $20 and under $10. And I think this one's a $10 to $12 wine. What do we have today? And it's the Cellars Pinot Grigio 2021. One of the internet wine review websites has this wine in the top 11% of all wines. Which isn't bad. Somebody likes it. It's one of those websites where people can just write in and say if they like it or not. So it's a crowd pleaser. I'm going to take a sip. It's California Pinot Grigio. Cellars is a negociant arm of Joseph Carr Wines, they're located in Napa Valley, I think Rutherford. The negociant doesn't have a winery and doesn't own their vineyards. They go out and they purchase grapes from whoever they have contacts with, and they will lease space from existing wineries. And the bottle says it's blended and aged or cellared by Josh Cellars. They didn't make it. They took the various different wines. They said it's from all over California. And actually, the art of wine is blending. I mean, the vineyards, that's agriculture. The fermentation process, that's science. But when you take everything together, all these different lots of wines and all the things you do to it, and you make it into the final product, that's art. That's the magic. And the best blenders are the ones that make the best wines, because it's not done until you blend it. And that's what we have here. It's I think you paid $11.99 at Target. You could probably at a real wine shop get a little bit cheaper, maybe between 10 and 12, somewhere like that. And it's a kind of a nice, fun to drink Pinot Grigio. It's more rounded. Santa Margherita Pinot Grigio was the brand that brought Pinot Grigio to the United States. There's over 300 white grapes in Italy, and before Santa Margherita, it was just one of the 300. No one knew anything about it. The people did know about it, but the regular wine drinkers, the cheap wine finder type people, had no clue it was out there. So I'm going to take a sip. Now, Santa Margherita is from Alto Adige, which is high up in the Alps, so northern Italy, so far up there that half the time you're going to hear people speak German and not Italy or Italian up there. That's going to be in Alto Adige is on the heights over the Adige River. And that's kind of like the Napa Valley of Pinot Grigio. That's where the best ones are. California is going to be a little bit different. California is going to be a little warmer. Most of the vineyards in California are Pacific Coast influenced. They're up in the Alps and River Valley. Going to be very different. The soils are going to be different. It's going to be warmer in California for the most part, though there are cool places like the Alps in California, but probably not for this wine. You wouldn't really want that. So the alcohol was 12.5%, which is pretty low, but you're going to get a more rounded wine. Sometimes the Italian Pinot Grigios can be kind of acidic and kind of sharp and brittle. Lots of interesting flavors, but this is round and smooth, and maybe melon, and maybe a touch of honey, and maybe peaches and pears, and maybe dried pineapple bits, that kind of thing. Everything's kind of gentle and in its place. It's not a spiky wine at all. I'll take another sip. Yeah, so I always say that I don't give it grades because I can't remember what I drank 2 months ago. How am I going to grade everything? But I do give it sips, and this one tastes great. It's going to be one of those wines that, you're not going to, this is the best Pinot, well, maybe it might be, depending on how many Pinot Grigios you had. You might think it's the best you ever had, but it's going to be a Pinot Grigio that puts a smile on your face. You're happy to drink it. That's me all over. I'm actually pouring a little more in my glass. There you go. That's my review. Not only did I take a bunch of sips, I had to pour more. So yeah, it's a crowd pleasing. It's like I said, if you're looking for if your style is the Alto Adige ones from Italy, this isn't it. But if your style is more of a white wine, rounded, delicate, nicely made from California, then you got something here, because this is a tasty little wine. I can see why it made the top 11% of all the wines on the internet wine review website. It's easy to drink. It's got good flavor. There's nothing not to like, and it's really not priced too badly. And it's, if you're watching whatever the new series is, or whatever you're watching, the playoff games for football, whatever it is, and you don't really want to spend a fortune, this will do. So that's it for me, Domain Dave from CheapWineFinder.com. Like I said, we're going to be keeping it cheap for a while. Why not? After you spend all the money in December, you don't want to. Well, there's people who don't drink in December, but I'm not one of them. So so keep it cheap. Stay safe, stay warm. If you see a button that likes us or makes us favorites, whatever those things do in the podcast, push it if you will. Buttons are lonely without you. And that's it for me. I'll be talking to everybody in a couple of days. Keep it cheap. Adios. And bye-bye.